You are listening to the IU Report with Grant Shouse and Mike Hutsell. This week, talking a little basketball non-conference schedule and looking ahead to defending the national championship and talking a little bit about the defending national champion IU football team and eligibility news for both the football and basketball team.
Welcome, IU fans, to the IU Report. We got a big one this week. My name's Grant Shouse Mike Hutsell. And Mike, the season is all but here pretty much. We're on the day of recording this, we're 10 days away from kickoff against North Texas. You and I will be there. You've already got your tickets. I'm still kind of waiting on my ticket situation on if I'm using a season ticket or if my dad's taking someone. But nonetheless, we're 10 days out. I'm excited, and we've got some things to discuss tonight.
We do. Let's talk about legal cases. Man, I can't wait.
That's my favorite. I mean, this is just one of my favorite subjects we've had probably for the last year now, because we talked about it with Lewis Moore last year and his fight to get eligible. And
the law report on the Central Indiana Sports Report.
Yeah, law and order right here. And a court out in Colorado ruled that high school seniors from the class of 2022 could be eligible this year in college athletics, not just college football, but college athletics as a whole. And that pertains to two football players and a basketball player at Indiana, that basketball player being Sam Alexis, and then Stephen Daley and Kellan Wyatt were eligible. It was announced that they were going to return. Everybody's excited. Everybody's looking at it saying, man, look at this defense. Look at the front seven they've got. This is an unstoppable defense, and it still could be. But since then, they've now been ruled ineligible, and now there's some more hoops to jump through. And as of right now, Stephen Daley and Kellan Wyatt will not be playing this season, but that doesn't mean they couldn't at some point down the road.
Yeah, I watched a few episodes of Suits before we started the show tonight. There's maybe get some temporary restraining orders, TROs, as we like to call them in the industry, as Harvey Specter would probably say. The good news from the football standpoint is if there's a position Indiana could afford some last-minute attrition from the roster, it would be the defensive line. The bad news is I was really looking forward to those guys coming back and getting one more run at it, because both of them ended their seasons, in different ways last year, injury-wise. And it was really, really, really looking like it could be, Big Ten Network, Dave Revson, who's been with the network since it started, said that was the most dominant defensive line he's ever seen in any camp he's ever been to. So knowing that bullet was in the chamber and now it's kind of been, subsided just a bit, who knows? I mean, we could be doing this show next week and, a different circuit with a different interpretation and, a couple. It's so stupid. Make a decision and stick with it, NCAA. They've sort of targeted the class of 2022. I don't quite understand it. Everybody from COVID got 5 years except for the class of 2022. And then they kind of left these guys in limbo. Yeah, they can go to the draft, but then if they try to come back, they can't play. But they didn't know that they weren't eligible to pull out of the draft because they thought their eligibility was. It's so weird.
Which side would Lewis Litt come down on, Mike?
Well, Lewis he's a money guy, so you got to think he'd be on the NIL collective side of this. He'd be tracking where the money went and everything. Harvey's the closer. He'd get the TROs done, man. So. And Mike Ross, we're not even sure if he should be, there or not. That's a whole season of Suits right there. I don't know. Let's talk about the football team, because this could just drag on into October, November. Who knows? I mean, we could add these guys for the Ohio State game because a judge jumps in and finally makes a ruling. So it's so weird. It's such a flux, weird scenario that plays out week to week. It seems like you start to feel good, and then you see your rival lose somebody and you're like laughing about them because your guy's going to play but theirs isn't. But then this week their guy's eligible and our guy's not. So yeah, North Texas, man, Taven Jackson named starter. Let's we're 10 days away. Bring on week 0. Let's get some Belichick football on our TVs on Saturday.
You're speaking my language here, Mike. I love week 0 for as weird as it is, for as sicko as you kind of have to be to really enjoy it, I'm here for it. I am really excited for a 3:00 San Jose State USC game on the West Coast out at the LA Coliseum. I cannot wait. Get a chance to see USC, who's on Indiana's schedule. Of course, they don't play till November. But not only that, but Howard is playing a nationally televised game on Saturday, and FCS. They're, of course, Indiana's opponent on September the 12th. And again, you got to be a sick individual to really be excited for week 0 on Saturday. You kind of wish your team was playing, but nonetheless, football is back. And, you kind of talk about the negative things here, but, time to really turn the page and look at the positive. And that's, we're getting ready here in 10 days to watch our favorite team play.
Yeah, and the sickest of sick people are going to be logged into their BetMGM account, deciding whether or not they want to place a few dollars on that Howard game you just alluded to. So,
are you one of them?
Right now, no, but it kind of depends how the day starts out, Grant.
All right.
You're only as good as your last bet, buddy. So,
yep. And you always stop before you win. I've learned that. And my 2.5 weeks of being a gambler, I've realized that.
Who needs an electric bill next month, man? When you got Howard Bison football to bet on, baby.
And according to TikTok, we're actually about to face a 18-month nationwide power outage. So, so it may not matter.
It's all the data center's fault.
Yeah,
that's a whole different TV show.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, you're right. Taven Jackson named North Texas a starter. I saw this, and you probably saw it too, Mike, but somebody said, man, take yourself back to 2023 where Taven Jackson's named the starter over Brendan Sorsby after Indiana beat Indiana State 41-7. And now read the headline that Taven Jackson's going to start for North Texas and will face defending national champion Indiana in the season opener. Nobody thought that would be a sentence ever.
And we haven't even got into what happened to Brendan Sorsby since then. So
yeah, it's unbelievable. It is a night and day transition. And with the success over the last 2 years Indiana's had, it's nothing short of amazing every time you really sit back and think about it.
It really is. The funny thing coming into this year is I think people are finally on board. Like, people they've got Indiana in that tier. Like, there's only one or two people that are like, oh, they're going to be horrible, 8-4. I was like, that's a top 5 season in Indiana history. Let's be real.
No doubt.
So, and I don't think they're going to go 8-4 at all. I don't even think it's in the realm of possibility. 9-3 is probably a worst case scenario. Mm-hmm. Knock on wood saying that, but that's the most crazy thing is we're sitting here talking about 9-3 being the worst case for what could happen going into a football season, when it used to be like, okay, let's find those 6 wins so we can go to Detroit for that bowl game, that Little Caesars Bowl.
Well, and I know we talked a few weeks ago about the coaches poll coming out and how Indiana came in at 6th, and we kind of discussed it. And now that the AP poll came out last week, is that now you can really sit back and go, okay, kind of expected them to be at 6. The AP poll really modeled a lot off of that coaches poll. There weren't very many differences there, but again, the more you think about it, the more you talk about it. Yeah, it's probably a little disrespectful, but you got to look at it in our scenario of, in our perspective of, you will never complain about this program and the crap it's been through, even now winning a national championship, being preseason ranked number 6. I don't think you can complain about that.
And the ultimate sign that Indiana's made it, I saw on a commercial earlier today. There's a furniture store in Clarksville that has a Labor Day event where if you come in and spend $3,000, they're going to refund all your money if Indiana goes undefeated and wins the national title.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that's big time. When Big Sandy Furniture is throwing it out there like that, I mean, that's I mean, I've seen the Red Sox throw those promotions out for, hey, if we win the World Series, we'll refund your your bedroom suit. You come in, spend $3,000 at Big Sandy on Labor Day weekend, you might get your money back if Indiana does what it did last year.
That is unbelievable. And the Red Sox this year had a promotion of kids eat free when the Sox win, and they won 17 in a row, and now the kids are all morbidly obese.
Yeah, a lot of fatties running around up there in Boston, man.
Yeah, quite a few. So
type 2 diabetes, and they're wearing it well.
I was gonna say Tony Soprano and them. They were from Jersey.
Yeah, that's Jersey, man.
Yeah.
The Departed, that's your mob movie out of Boston.
Okay. Never seen it. Actually, never heard of it.
Oh my God. Wow. Okay. Move on.
We're going to have the season preview for Indiana football coming up here next week on the show, and then we'll have a North Texas preview at some point next week. We're going to break down that game and get ready for the season. But for now, Indiana basketball, this is something else to nosh on. Indiana basketball has released all of their non-conference schedule for the 2026-2027 season. Seemed like we had to wait a while to get this out. We knew there would be some preseason exhibitions. Butler on October 11th, 3 straight Sundays, by the way, all drivable distance for people in Indiana, unless you live way up in the region. Sunday, October the 11th at Butler at Hinkle Fieldhouse, 6:30 tip-off there. Sunday, October 18th against North Carolina at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. And then Sunday, October 25th at 4 o'clock against Western Kentucky at the Ford Center in Evansville. So that's a little bit of a niche one there. But Mike, Indiana has finally released its non-conference schedule. What are some of the things that jump out about it to you?
Well, they've stepped up their P4 opponents. First thing first, they have Syracuse. Well, we knew they were going to have Kentucky on the schedule. We saw the Arkansas game get announced. So you got your 2 SEC foes. The Syracuse game got announced pretty early. But then some of these late additions that are both at Assembly Hall with Missouri in December, another SEC game. So 3 SEC games in the non-con. And then this last edition coming through of Central Florida, a Big 12 team who not a lot of people know. I mean, they're not a great program, but they're also a pretty solid program. They're kind of in line with what Indiana's been the last several years. They're not a perennial tournament team, but they're always that one of those teams that you see is like contending for the NCAA tournament. So that's a team that, it'd be interesting to see how they match up in that game. I'm all for playing Power 4 teams. I'm all for getting Power 4 opponents on your home floor, and Indiana actually did that this time around. And then the Kentucky game, that's just a lot of fun to play. It's going to be in Indianapolis. Should be a great atmosphere. And then Syracuse, it's early. You're catching them early. They've been down, not at Syracuse levels over the past several years. So you'd like to think that's a game Indiana's going to have a pretty fair shot at winning. So just seeing Power 4 opponents on the schedule, that's music to my ears. You're not putting together the Tom Crean, just absolute cupcake city here, left and right. Troy, Kennesaw, back to back. I mean, you got to play those games, but that seemed to be all Indiana played in several eras of the last few years. So I like seeing a slight step up in the competition this year.
And you mentioned all those P4 games, but some of the cupcakes that they're going to play, probably their quad 3 and 4 opponents. They're going to open the season on the opening night of college basketball on Monday, November 2nd against Eastern Illinois, which seems like the past few years that Indiana's always opened up like on that first Wednesday of the season. This year they'll open up on the first day. And then November 5th, which is a Thursday, same week at home against Bellarmine. Thursday, November 12th, they'll play Tennessee Tech at home. Tennessee Tech's head coach is Tobin Anderson, who is the coach at FDU. We'll get to them in a minute here. Tuesday, November 24th, right before Thanksgiving, they'll play Jacksonville. Then a quick Thanksgiving break. They're back at it on Black Friday against Bowling Green. Thursday, December the 3rd against Western Illinois in Bloomington. And then they'll play right before Christmas on December the 22nd against FDU, believe it, at home again right before Christmas on December 22nd. So not going to lie, FDU probably has the chance to do the funniest thing ever and come to Bloomington and beat them. I'm not going to speak it into existence. That's all I'll say about it. But
Never heard of him.
yeah.
Is there any history between FDU and any other local college program that I'm not aware of?
Nope.
I think something tells me there is. I'll have to go back and check.
I'll have to go look. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I mean, surely no local team has lost to FDU in any recent contest. I can't. I don't even know why we're even acknowledging that game to this point.
And surely I've not watched that game a million times since it happened. I'm curious, Mike, you're looking at this non-conference schedule. Is there any games that you kind of circle right now of ones you want to try to get to?
I mean, I'm obviously, if I have an opportunity, I'm going to go to the Kentucky game. I mean, that's just a game that I grew up watching that means something to me geographically with where I'm located. Syracuse, that's an early game. Might be easy to make a trip up there.
It's on a Monday.
It's on a Monday night, so Bellarmine, that's always an interesting one to me. I'm quite familiar with that program. I've been to several Bellarmine games. I still have friends who are in their NIL collective. Not that it's a huge one, but a lot of friends of mine who are Bellarmine guys, so very interested in seeing that game. Bellarmine's a school that I kind of follow from a distance. I know they went to Notre Dame last year, which, seeing where that program's come from. I interned at Bellarmine in college, and I was literally working out of a supply closet in their sports information office. And now they're, a full-fledged D1 school who could have made the tournament if it wasn't for some weird D1 NCAA rules in like their first year as a program. So it's wild to me. It's cool to me to see Bellarmine playing the teams that they play now. And I mean, I'm always prone to sneak up for a Missouri game on a Saturday or Central Florida whenever that game gets played. I don't do a lot, so
that Missouri game is actually on a Friday. It's on the Friday of the first night of the college football playoff.
Oh yeah, we talked about that. We don't really concern it. That's like the bye week for me.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
First round. Who are we? Louisville?
No, because Louisville probably wouldn't even be in it.
They think they will this year. So.
Obviously, for me, I'd like to get to the Syracuse game. Again, it being, it's convenient. It's on a Monday night. I'm afraid that the ticket prices will probably be more than I want to spend because we've seen that third party get involved and jack up the ticket prices. And same thing for like the North Carolina game. I'd like to get to that one too. There's going to be a lot of hungover folks at that one, with it being the day after the Ohio State football game. So honestly, the three exhibitions would, I think, be cool to go to. Obviously, a little bit of a longer drive for me down to the Ford Center at Evansville to see him play Western Kentucky. But other than that, their schedule seems pretty convenient. My most available days during the season are always kind of Mondays and Thursdays. That's what they've got for the first part of the season. And the Kentucky game falls on like the only Friday that I've got between August and about March that's open. And I usually don't have a game that Friday. So the Kentucky game could be something, again, probably a little more than I'd want to spend on it, but probably go to the FDU game just because I always go to a game down there around Christmas time, and it's just kind of been what I've done. Probably take my sister to that one. Tickets will be cheap. There won't be any students, but I like this non-conference slate. It's not bad. It's better than what it's been. You can compare the last few to this. There's no Lindenwood and Incarnate Word on here, and I think there's a little bit of maybe a half a step up in your quad 4 games. So that's something to look out at, and I like this. Like I said, I hope they can win a lot of games. One game we didn't talk about was the Arkansas game at Madison Square Garden on a Tuesday, November 17th, part of the Bad Boy Mowers series there, again at Madison Square Garden. But that'll be a good one. That'll be a good neutral site test for Indiana, true neutral site game. Like you have the neutral site games in Indy with Syracuse and Kentucky, but this is a true neutral site game that really is going to, I think, raise some eyebrows.
Yeah, and you got to play Calipari. So,
yeah,
you're going to play a really good team talent-wise when you play Calipari, but God, if there's anybody you want to beat in college basketball, it's John Calipari. So,
and a part of that, I think adds probably for the fans, probably not for the coaching staff or players who don't quite understand it, but like part of that adds extra motivation that game has to be on a neutral floor against Calipari, and that he won't come to Indiana and we can't go there. So, be nice to get them.
The death of the Indiana-Kentucky series is solely traced to one man, and that was John Calipari because he got his whittle feelings hurt.
Yeah. A couple people got kicked one time after the Jeremiah Love 98-yard run version of Indiana basketball. So
how dare college kids get excited about something?
How dare they? How dare they celebrate after kind of resurrecting the program at the time to its biggest win in almost a decade.
Screw Calipari.
Well, finally here, by the way, we've got Indiana football season preview coming up next week. We've got some things to discuss there, take a look at the schedule, kind of do what we did last year. Maybe do a best case, worst case scenario for every game. That was a little bit of a longer episode last year, so I'm looking forward to that one, Mike. And then later on next week, probably around Thursday or so, we'll preview North Texas, and it'll be time to pack the rock on September the 5th.
Let's do it. Defending national champs. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Crazy. Also have a Purdue football season preview coming up pretty soon. So want to let everybody know about that. That was fun.
Let Barry cook, baby.
Yeah. I'm predicting 9-3.
9.
All right.
That was a joke. I'm sorry. That was a joke. I promise I did not do that. I'm not that much of a homer.
The Stouffer's lasagna of college football coaches, Barry Odom.
Just for the record, I do think IU's disrespected at number 6. Not IU, the program, Kurt Signetti in particular. He's just that damn good.
I know, but I mean, who you gonna move? Georgia was the only team I think Indiana probably should be ranked higher than.
I think I'd have them at number 1.
You could have done it that route, but I'm okay with giving Sig some ammo going into the season.
Mm-hmm. I'd rather be number 6. I'm not going to lie to you. I think it adds more of a chip on the shoulder.
Thank you so much, Grant, and thank you so much to Mike, and thank you so much for listening. As Grant mentioned, we'll have our season preview coming up next week, and then a preview of the North Texas game as the Hoosiers defend their national championship for the first time ever. Unbelievable. Still can't believe it. We also have our Purdue season preview coming out very soon. Colts report, Fever report, and a double weekend in IndyCar. So much going on the Central Indiana Sports Report. We're talking about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about every single day. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie